All right, guys. Good morning. So today we're going to move into Unit 4, taking a stance. All right. So I'm going to give you a little presentation. I want you to take really good Cornell notes. I'm going to give you a bunch of statistics and data to use when making your argument. All right, so if you would get a piece of plain lined paper out, draw your line across the top, and then draw your line down. Please label it literacy statistics. No, literally label it literacy statistics. All right, here we go. All right, our day one goals. So we're trying to answer this question. How does literacy affect the freedom, security, and happiness of an individual and society? Right? So that's the question I want you to have in mind as you're looking at these things. Our agenda today, you need to take Cornell notes on the stats that I present to you, and then you're going to have to read and annotate 2 articles that I give you. All right? So take Cornell notes. Read and annotate 2 articles. The Cornell notes does include your questions and your summary. Don't forget questions and summary. All right? All right. The first part, the notes, will be done individually, watching this presentation, and the reading and annotating the questions and the summary, those can be done in group work. All right, here we go. So first thing we're going to talk about is how to get paid. All right? Because I know that money matters to most people, all right? In fact, I'd say at some level it is important to everybody, matters to everybody. But what if I told you there was one simple thing you could do to make more money? More money. I don't care what you make now. All right, maybe you're good enough. Maybe you've got all the financial security you could possibly ever need. All right? Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're looking at your life, your situation, and maybe you're looking around and you're thinking, there's got to be something better than this. I need to make more money. All right? And I know a bunch of people got a bunch of advice. All right? But what if I told you this one little trick was guaranteed? All right? What if it was free? Right, so what if this isn't some Ponzi scheme or pyramid, right? You don't have to put out money for this. It is free. What if I told you it was risk-free? So you don't have to put anything online, right? You don't have to risk anything. It's not, try this, and then if it doesn't work, I'm in trouble, all right? So one simple thing you could do to make more money. It's guaranteed, and I told you it's cost-free, it's risk-free. Would you do it? Would you try it? Would you think about it? Right? Or would you shrug your shoulders and go on with your life changing nothing? Myself, if somebody came to me and told me this, you got something, it's cost-free, risk-free, it's guaranteed, right? You just got to work hard. You just got to do this. I would do it. I would try, right? I would give it a try. If it doesn't work for me, maybe, but I'd try it. All right, well, that's my question for you. Well, here's the number one making trick for anyone, anywhere in the world. Are you ready? Anyone, anywhere in the world will make more money if they do this one thing. Read. Read. That's right. Just read. Let me give you some statistics to back this up. Okay? Well, let's just go with who's reading. 48% of young children in the U.S. are read to daily. And if you want the sources are down here. All right? In high-income families, more than 2 out of 5 children are not read to daily. But among adults with the lowest levels of literacy proficiency, right? So they're really bad at reading. They have really low reading scores. Okay, 43% live in poverty. 43% live in poverty. Among those who have strong literacy skills, only 4% live in poverty. Right? So 43% versus 4%. So if you have strong literacy skills, only 4% of people with strong literacy skills live in poverty. 60% of America's prison inmates are illiterate. That means they can't read. Right? On a functional level, they can't read. 60%. That's more than half. That's a D. 60% of people in prison can't read. 85% of juvenile offenders have reading problems. Guys, stop and think about that. 85%. That tells me that if you have really low literacy skills, your chance of being wealthy are really, really low. If you have bad literacy skills, your chances of living in poverty are really high. Your chance of going to jail is really high. Bad literacy, high probability of jail, high probability of poverty. High literacy, low, right? High literacy. If you're really good at reading, your chance of being poor or going to jail are really, really low. Some reasons, all right? These are taken from Kelly Gallagher in his book Read-A-Side. Reading arms you against oppression. Over 60% of prison inmates are functionally illiterate. 85% of juvenile offenders are unable to read well enough to participate in their case. Right? Look at this, guys. Look at this. 85% juvenile offenders unable to read well enough to participate. They're at the mercy of their lawyers. Get a good lawyer, maybe you get out. Bad lawyer, you're going to do time. Almost 50% of people with the lowest literacy skills live in poverty. 14% of Americans with poor reading skills are underemployed. Underemployed means you're working part-time, you're barely getting by, you're kind of going in debt as you work, right? You have a job. That's about it. Reading opens the doors to college and beyond. Check this out. 52% of students in 2012 were ready for college-level reading. Only 52, only half, right? Now stop and think. How many people are reading? How many students do you see reading in classrooms, reading for fun? How many of your friends read for fun? Reading is an essential component of college and workplace readiness. And 11% of entering college students must take remedial reading courses. Guys, when you get to college, right, you're probably going to have to take some remedial classes. If you're not preparing yourself now, prepare yourself now. And you don't have to take these extra college classes. That's why it takes, on average, students with poor reading skills 6 years, right? In fact, or more. Look, 70% of those taking the remedial classes fail to earn a college degree within 8 years. 8 years. Right? They'll fund you for 4. It's supposed to take 4 years, but it's going to take you more than 8. Above that, reading makes you smarter. It just makes you smarter. It gives you a bigger vocabulary, right? You can use more words, more complex words to express yourself, to think about things, to describe things. Good morning.
How are you? What's going on?
I'm recording my video lesson.
I'm just trying to check in. I'm so sorry.
It's like, yeah. Crap. All right. Where was I? We'll start here. All right, guys. Sorry for the interruption. Let's get back to it. All right. Reading makes you smarter. All right. In the business world, a person typically spends 2 hours a day reading. Guys, if you want a job where you're wearing a suit, where you're making big money, business, guys, and this counts, like, you want to run a business, you're going to be reading 25% of your time. Right? Reading well is financially rewarding. So it makes you smarter and it makes you more money. So, why read 20 minutes at home? Okay, check this out. Student A reads 20 minutes per day. That's 3,600 minutes per school year. That's 1.8 million words per year. All right, this is how much you read. And you score in the 90th percentile. In other words, you're at the top 10% of students in America. Student B only reads 5 minutes per day, right? They read a couple articles on Facebook, all right, that kind of a thing. That's 900 minutes in a school year. That's 282,000 words per year. They score in the 50th percentile on standardized tests. So you're right in the middle of the road. You're half, right? Half of America is below you. Half of the students in America are better than you at reading. Student C reads 1 minute per day. Okay, this is like incidental reading. This is about what you do in school. All right, 180 minutes per school year, 8,000 words per year. They score in the 10th percentile. In other words, 90% of the country is better at academics than you. If you started reading for 20 minutes per night in kindergarten, by the end of the 6th grade, student A will have read for the equivalent of 60 school days. Student B, 12, and student C for 3. Look, guys, you want to be a better reader? Just read. Just read, right? And I'm not talking about read anything. Read something that you enjoy reading, right? Not this teacher wants you to read The Grapes of Wrath, and this teacher wants you to read Their Eyes Were Watching God. No, just read anything that you enjoy. In fact, I would advise you, find an informational book that you really enjoy, something about a topic. Like if you love anime, find a book at the library about creating anime or getting a job in anime. Find computer graphics. Read a book on computer language, right? All right, we're going to move on. Check it out. Reading is highly connected to education, right? To move forward in your education, you need to be able to read well. Not reading will hold you back in your education. So, no high school diploma. 9%, 10%, that's 1 out of 10 students with the dropout will be unemployed. No job. The average hourly earnings of somebody with no high school diploma is $12 an hour. As soon as you earn your high school diploma, you move up to 16. A 4-year degree average is $30 an hour. Now, guys, this is an average. It's a national average, so you got to take into account, yeah, we live in California, so this is going to be higher, right, in California or New York than it's going to be in Iowa or mid-Ohio, right? But here's the point. Look at the graph. As you go higher, your wages go higher. As you go higher, your unemployment possibility goes lower, right? As you go lower, the less of a degree you have, the higher your chances of being unemployed. It's simple. Employers will take somebody with a degree over someone without one. Check it out. It is getting harder to live without a high school diploma, not easier. It's not getting easier. There's not more jobs out there. There's less. And it's getting harder. Here we are. Right? Today it's 2019. We're about here. If you have a bachelor's degree, then you're on average making about this. When I retire, the average degree will be making almost $200,000 a year. But look at the high school, right? Look at these guys down here. Their wage isn't growing. They're not making more money as they go by. They're making the same. Let's do a little bit of math, all right? You should be getting this in your Cornell notes, all right? And you can pause the video anytime you need to. If you have a high school diploma, you're making about $15 an hour, okay, on average. That's $600 a week. That's $2,400 a month. I know that sounds like a lot, especially if you're living at home with your parents and that's all in your pocket, right? When that's all pocket money, that's real good money, right? But when you're paying a $2,000 mortgage, it's not as much. Well, that's $28,000 a year. In your lifetime, right? In your lifetime, that's about $1.4 million. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? All right. Well, if you get an associate's degree, right, just a 2-year degree, so EMT, one of these, right, you'll make on average about $20 an hour. That's $800 a week. That's $3,000 a month. That's $38,000 a year. In your lifetime, that's $1.4 million. Check this out, a bachelor's degree. That's $30 an hour on average, $1,200 a week, $4,800 a month. That equals $57,000 a year. In your lifetime, that equals $2.8 million. Here's the key. That is twice 1.4. So you can make $1.4 million, or you can make $2.8 million for 5 years of work. So 5 years of work is worth $1.4 million. That sounds worth it to me. All right. Well, now you're going to read your articles, and we'll deal with that. In your reflection, discuss what you did today, what you worked, explain which parts were the most difficult and why, so talking about your Cornell notes and your annotations. Then evaluate your engagement, okay, your ability level to take these notes, pick out the most important information, all that stuff. And finally, discuss what you learned today and how that made you feel. All right, and I'll see you in class. Have a good day.